Persistent gap in academic achievement among different ethnic and racial groups has been a critical and controversial issue in American education for decades. There has not been enough research on the achievement gap and its correlation at pre-K levels. Studies have found that the achievement gap appears as early as school entry and increases over time, and the gap between different ethnic and racial groups clearly revealed the vastness of the achievement gap between black and white children from kindergarten through high school. Access to high-quality pre-K in the U.S. remains quite difficult for most parents to accomplish. African American, Hispanic, and low-income children are less likely to enroll in early childhood education than their white peers, and the low-income children lag behind their higher-income peers upon kindergarten entry. Research suggests that participation in early childhood education programs enhance children's development, reduce achievement gaps at kindergarten entry, and even have permanent benefits for the children's school pathways. Although programs have increased overall, our national progress towards closing the achievement gap has been disappointing.
Latinos face a noticeable achievement gap. The poor academic achievement of Latino students is indicative of a complex, multi-faced problem that must be addressed. The problem is complex and its solution will not be found in a specific program, intervention, or curriculum. The academic achievement of Latinos is affected by many factors, including the conditions of schools in which Latino students are enrolled, the quality of coursework, the manner in which teachers teach, how teachers and school leaders perceive Latino students, the allocation of resources, parents' expectations, parent empowerment, and teacher preparation. Research indicates Latino students would be more inclined to not only remain in school, but also perform well academically if they sense parents and others who care about them feel education is important. Latinos are not receiving appropriate instruction because many programs for English learners are not grounded in sound, research-based instructional practices relevant to linguistically and culturally diverse populations. Many Latinos do not have access to specially equipped rooms such as science labs, media centers, and libraries because spaces are being used for other educational purposes. As the Latino student population continues to grow, their poor achievement, especially in mathematics and reading, has significant implications, not only for public educational systems, but also for the state's and nation's social, political, and economic future.
Did you know that dyslexia is present in 17 to 21% of school-age population? Well, now you do. Dyslexia has a huge effect on children's achievement gap in school, and it is apparent in children as early as first grade and continues throughout that child's years in school. For those of you who don't know, dyslexia is an issue with a piece of phonological processing and a piece of spoken language. The biggest importance of this issue is that the achievement gap puts real consequences for dyslexic learners, which can result in lower rates of high school graduation, lower college enrollment, and high levels of unemployment. To prevent the achievement gap that is affecting children who have dyslexia, reading interventions must be put into place earlier on in a child's life to ward off the achievement gap between dyslexic readers and typical readers.
The achievement gap is one of the most prevalent issues in today's education system. Our teacher expectations are what we as teachers believe our students' capabilities and achievements can be. It's no myth that those who are a part of an ethnic minority have a lower achievement gap than those a part of the ethnic majority. Some other reasons as to why there could be an achievement gap is because of disadvantaged backgrounds, traumatic life events, or color, gender, or disability. However, the two main factors that drive the achievement gap is the socioeconomic status and race of the student. Students are able to understand from a teacher's behavior how the teacher sees the student. For example, if a teacher were to not put as much effort into a Native American student and that student saw a white student getting more academic opportunities, this might produce a sense of unworthlessness in the Native American child. Overall, the achievement gap is a prevalent issue in today's society.
Many developing countries in the world have encountered a different pace in the economic development of achievement gap between rural and urban communities. These differences have been shown in the education system of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Researchers have recorded differences in the academic performance of students in urban and rural schools. Most concerns arising were from the result of inequality and inconsistency, as seen in the Thai education system in the wide gap between the scores of urban and rural students. This research has implications for policy and practice in Thailand as well as other developing nations. Teachers working in rural schools tend to face more difficulties not only in the workplace, but also at home. Teachers also learn through informal interactions during the course of peer teaching, collaborative planning, shared assessment, and informal mentoring. Research has painted a less than optimistic portrait with respect of the capacity of Thailand's principals and teachers to address these deficiencies in rural schools. Teachers with a strong sense of agency demonstrate proactive engagement and collective efforts at change. While researching upon the achievement gap, they came to a realization that the study implies that addressing the gap in student achievement will require action aimed at building the capacity of the principals and teachers who work with the rural students.